Okay, guys, welcome back. We are talking Arizona draw, application strategy, Arizona deer draw, and Arizona Coues deer draw specific strategies. If you are someone that wants to hunt Coues deer, which is me every single year, with any weapon, I don't care. If you are looking to hunt Coues deer, a couple things you should know. For this really doesn't matter if you're resident or non-resident. There are a lot of units that you can draw as a resident or a non-resident that you can draw every year or every other year. That being said, there are units that are have a lot of private land, have a lot of land that's locked up in Coues deer country. There's a lot of rugged units. And there's a lot to know before you try to draw a Coues deer tag. So let's just say you want to try Coues deer hunting for the first time. You want to try to draw a tag. Typically, there are 2 to 3 seasons you can choose from, not the trophy late season. Typically, there's an October season, a November season, and an early December season. So you have 3 of those seasons. And I just want to break those seasons down for you. The October season, number 1. And this is, like I said, this is almost like anywhere there's Coues deer, I'm talking about these units. So any unit that says white-tailed deer only, which is Coues deer in Arizona, there's no eastern whitetail in Arizona. First season is typically very warm, and it can be very, very hot. It can be 100 degrees where these Coues deer live. That's not to say that they're not out and about, that they still get up, they still feed, they still go to water, they still do all these things. I have found that it's very hard to hunt in really hot weather. It's hard to maintain. It's hard to stay out there for myself, for my clients, for my guides. So that's something that you need to take into account, and that needs to be part of your approach when you're trying to draw one of these tags. Are you okay with really warm weather? Do you have the necessary equipment? Are you gonna have a cooler ready? Are you gonna have all the stuff ready that makes sure that you can be successful and be safe? It sounds silly, but safety is a big deal, especially when it gets really hot. You go on an hour hike, or you go on a chase where you shot at a deer, you see a deer and he went over a ridge, and you keep going and you're like, man, I only brought 2 water bottles, all this stuff. It can get pretty serious pretty fast. So I want everybody to understand that hunting in the desert is the real deal, especially when it's hot, especially when you got to hike. So be careful. Safety is number 1. And I'm not talking about immigration. That's not a huge concern of mine. It's more of hydration. That is a big deal. Food, you can live without food, but make sure that if you're going hunting in these early seasons, that you carry enough water, and also that you have an ice chest in your truck, car, whatever, waiting for you to get back, that water is cooled down, because if you are overheated, it doesn't take long to get heat exhaustion. Doesn't take long to get fatigued. It doesn't take long to get dehydrated, which are serious, and they only happen quicker the next time you go out hunting. So sorry for the safety plug there, but that goes into hunting and drawing these first season tags. An advantage of these first season tags, I kind of just listed the disadvantages. Some of the advantages of drawing an October tag is, hey, typically you're the first one out there. You're the first hunters that get to hunt some of these bucks. You get the first crack. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's hot, but the most bucks exist during that October season, because after that October season, the bucks get cut down by how many people are successful, and then we segue into the November season. So it's definitely a calculated risk and a calculated approach to the first season, because you get the first crack at these deer, and if you're capable, physical, it's a great opportunity, and I like these first season hunts. In what we do, we spend a lot of time. We'll come home, or not come home, but we'll come into camp in the afternoons and stuff. I mean, it's kind of one of those hunts. Hunt the mornings pretty hard, hunt the afternoons pretty hard. We're at camp typically in the middle of the day, unless we're like waiting on a deer to get up or something like that. We bedded him down. It's kind of that can be a tricky deal too, guys. If you find a buck in this October season, it may take him all day to get up. I've had numerous situations where we've had to do water runs, or I've had buddies get severely dehydrated because they're waiting in the exposure of the sun, this exposed heat, and they're waiting for these bucks to get up so they can shoot them. Meanwhile, their body is overheating, dehydrating, all these things that they were not ready for, they weren't prepared for. So know that shade is your best friend and water is your best friend, and just being prepared is really important. Unlike some of the later hunts where a buck may get up in the middle of the day, it gets cloudy or whatever, he'll feed. It's October hunts, there's more of a chance where he will stay bedded the entire day, and you're going to sit for 8 hours under a tree waiting for, him to stand up. This is real. That actually does happen. A brief unit breakdown. Like I said, it's pretty equal across the board. Every unit that has a whitetail only or Coues only season, I mean, it's pretty straight across. I mean, there's some great potential in every Coues deer unit. I mean, 30A, 30B, 29, 24, 36A, B, C, 34B, 34A, 35B, 35A, 21, 22, 23. That's just to name a few. 27, they have some good opportunities out there too. But and 6A, like there's some of those higher elevation units are great on the Mogollon Rim. But you're really it's the same thing whether you're hunting, northern Arizona or you're hunting southern Arizona. It's going to be warmer. You're going to get a first crack at these deer, and it just kind of depends on what your style is and how fit you are, and what type of level of hiking or access you prefer. Some guys are like, I want to go in the wilderness. Some guys are like, I got a bad hip, I need to stay a little bit closer to the road. All things, there are units to accommodate each and everybody's goals for Coues to get a nice trophy representative Coues deer. So yeah, if you have any questions on that, on anything, before I go any farther, if you have any questions on the Coues deer, unit specific questions, feel free to hit me up. I don't care. I'm not looking for your I'm not looking to sell you a hunt or anything like that. If you want to call me about booking a hunt, do it. But if you just want like some general advice, hit me up anytime. I have had guys do it quite a bit. So I'm cool with information. I'm not going to give you obviously exact spots, but guys, you don't need I just want to help people get to the right areas on their own. And part of the problem with sending somebody to a certain spot is that when those spots don't produce, there are so many spots out there, and there's plenty of opportunity, guys, for you to make your own spots and to have your own hunting areas and to kind of develop an understanding of certain areas and drainages and creeks and ridges and stuff. So there's not that many secrets out there. There's just boots on the ground, and that's kind of where we're at. So before I get any farther, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the various Coues seasons, but that just goes right there. Don't be afraid to hit me up. Don't be afraid to comment below and let me know if you have any questions below. Just hit me up. I'd like to spread some knowledge without pissing too many people off. I like to help everybody. It's all public land we're hunting in Arizona, and you got to draw it. So I'm all about it. I'm a resident. I like to hunt Coues deer. It's my passion. So my natural reaction is to help people do that. And maybe down the line, sure, yeah, you might want a guided hunt, or you might want to buy a scouting package or an outfitted deal or whatever it is. Cool. If not, cool. Let's go into that next hunt. So you have typically a first hunt, and this isn't like totally unit or statewide. Like some units, they only have a couple hunts, so they'll have a first hunt and a second hunt, which that second hunt is right after the first mule deer hunt, so early November. So you have a Coues deer hunt, you have a mule deer hunt, and then you have another Coues deer hunt. That hunt it's kind of like, to me, it's a good hunt to draw for your first time. There's already been 1,000 people pushing deer around. starting with kind of the disadvantages, but they're kind of advantages as well. So you already have 1,000 people pushing deer around. Coues deer have already been shot out of there. So it's the second round. That's pretty much the disadvantages. The advantages to us are the weather cools off a little bit. So within those 2 weeks, typically that second week of November, the weather still cools down. It'll be in the 80s during the day. Could be cooler. We've had some cold snaps, a little bit cooler. The deer have been pushed, so that may seem like a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes these deer go into these areas that we more commonly find these bucks versus bucks scattered abroad. They're kind of condensed in certain areas that we like to focus on. Hopefully not all the big deer are shot that first October hunt. I haven't seen that yet. It seems like we always end up finding big bucks on every hunt. Part of the advantage for that second hunt, if you're going guided or scouted or whatever, is that we've already been in there for 2 weeks. So we keep finding more and more deer and have a better idea of where certain bucks are. If you're going unguided or just DIY, it's another great opportunity to go a little bit farther, go a little bit deeper than where you normally would go, maybe just a little bit farther off a road and search into spots that are just that much more remote, maybe where the bucks are hiding, just that next ridge. If you're a solo hunter, DIY guy, again, season's a little bit cooler. Typically, another advantage is it's around Veterans Day, so for the working guy, it can be a little bit better that way. Not all the time, but sometimes you have an extra weekend day that you can take off and hunt. And it's not really in a busy time. You know, the third hunt is right after Thanksgiving, which doesn't work out for a lot of people, especially if you're traveling. That early mid-November hunt is a cool hunt just because it's a good time of year to hunt deer. I mean, they're hunting deer. Pretty much all of the United States is hunting deer during the first week of November. So we might as well do that too in Arizona. The third hunt is 1st of December, kind of like right after Thanksgiving. So whenever Thanksgiving falls, that Friday, Black Friday, is the beginning of the late rifle elk, and it's also beginning of the third Coues season in 80% of the units in Arizona for that have a Coues deer only season. Again, it's the same kind of factors as that second season. It's even cooler. But there are more bucks that have been shot. So the population of big shootable bucks is decreased just a little bit more. One factor that's a very, very clutch in that third season is it's a 10-day season. So the prior mentioned seasons are typically 7-day seasons, while that third one is 10 days. So that gives you 2 weekends. That comes in handy when you have Thanksgiving on Thursday and you have a family and or prior obligations on Thanksgiving and you can't quite make it that full Thanksgiving weekend. You can always hunt that second half of that hunt. So great opportunities. Doesn't take a bunch of points to draw. I don't care what unit we're talking about. I went over them. Pretty much all these units, they have the same opportunities. Great time of year, great weather. And again, there's still a good chance of killing some nice bucks. Just from a weather standpoint. You know, what I've seen throughout the years is that sometimes you have like a season, a Coues deer season, that just gets slammed with the weather. So say the second week just gets hammered with wind and rain, and the deer literally maybe bedded the whole hunt, right? So you don't have as much of a harvest during that second hunt. So could be some cool bucks hanging around that third hunt, just waiting, you know, that never got seen, never got shot at. Or there's just phenomenal weather that third hunt where it's cool and kind of rainy or whatever it is, you know, and it gets these bucks on their feet. So, in my opinion, each Coues deer hunt has disadvantages and it has advantages. And I haven't seen one hunt produce bigger bucks than the other. I have just seen consistent, different style of opportunities on each hunt, weather dependent, and, you know, that type of deal. I hope that makes sense. And all these hunts are not like I said before, I mean, they're not crazy to draw. I mean, you don't need a ton of points to draw these hunts, whether you're a resident or non-resident. So if you just want to try a Coues deer hunt, listen to maybe some of the advantages and or time of year that these are happening on, and then make that determination on what fits your personal schedule better. Not, oh, I'm going to hunt the third season because it's, where all the whatever. It isn't really the trophy quality or bigger, but all that doesn't really differentiate from each season. It's more of what fits your schedule as like a DIY hunter or a guided hunter. If you want to come guided, know what fits your schedule first so you have an opportunity, an idea of what's going to work for you. So I hope that helped. Again, if you have unit specific questions, hit me up on the comments below or personal message me, DM me, or personal email me, message me, whatever you want to do, call me. And I'll help you out. If you want a guided hunt, of course, I'll help you out. If you want some information on what I think would be your best opportunity, of course, I'll help you out. I don't care if you're buying a hunt or not. We do scouting packages. We do outfitted packages, which the difference in those is outfitted is like, hey, we'll get your camp together, get all the stuff you need, all the stuff you need that you don't have to go out and buy. And, we help guys out, like guys with a group of buddies, 2, 3, 6 friends that all want to come out. They're like, dude, I don't really want to go buy a bunch of canvas wall tents and all this stuff. Like, can we get an outfitted package? Typically that coincides with a scouting package, because usually we'll set you up in a good area and then be like, you need to hunt here, 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 and here. And so it's like, and it doesn't cost as much as a fully guided outfitted hunt. And it's really good for DIY guys that want to get after it by themselves and not have to worry about, trailer loads of gear and crap and forgetting stuff and going to the store and blah, blah, blah. So we're here to help you out in any way, shape, or form. Again, Coues deer hunting is such an awesome experience, so unique to the Sonoran Desert, north of the border. It's fantastic hunting, and we'll go over a little bit in another video about the Coues deer hunting approach and some of the good approaches. Basically, if you're a first timer or you've hunted Coues deer all your life, some of the approaches that we take to, we have better success from glassing certain areas more so than others, or just starting in different spots. So I hope it's helped, guys. I hope it encourages you to apply for the draw, get a deer point, try to apply for a hunt. If you have a desire to hunt Coues deer, do your research, hit me up, look online. There's plenty of good stuff. GoHunt.com has cool research on draw statistics, and there's a bunch of other resources as well. But we're here to help, guys. I appreciate you tuning in, and good luck this season. Talk to you later.